Introduction. There is one fundamental truth about human potential. It is shaped, not given. The greatest achievements in history were first won in the mind before they ever became reality, but most people allow their thinking to limit their possibilities. They tell themselves, I can't, it's too hard, or I'm not good enough. And because they believe that, they live within those boundaries. Your mind is the foundation of everything you achieve in life. It is the control center that dictates how you perceive challenges, process information, and respond to opportunities. Every great innovation, every record-breaking feat, and every extraordinary success story began in the mind of someone who dared to think beyond limitations. The way you train your mind determines the course of your life, and if you learn to master it, you can accomplish things that once seemed impossible. And you're the compossible one. It's all about you. Most people operate within the boundaries of what they believe is possible. These boundaries are not real. They are mental constructs shaped by past experiences, societal conditioning, and self-imposed fears. When a person repeatedly tells themselves they are not capable, not smart enough, or not talented enough, their mind accepts those statements as truth. Over time, this belief system becomes their reality. But here's the game-changing truth. The mind can be reprogrammed. Just as a computer runs on software, your mind runs on the thoughts, beliefs, and habits you feed it daily. To achieve the impossible, you must first recognize that limitations exist primarily in the mind. Think about any major advancement in human history: space travel, wireless communication, medical breakthroughs. At one point, all of these were considered impossible. The only reason they became reality is that someone refused to accept the limits imposed by conventional thinking. These pioneers trained their minds to seek solutions instead of dwelling on obstacles. They understood that the mind is not just a passive observer, but an active creator of reality. Your brain is wired for efficiency, which means it will always default to what is familiar. If you have spent years doubting yourself or thinking in a restricted way, your mind will resist new ideas at first. This is why training is essential. You must consciously reframe negative thoughts and challenge every limiting belief that arises. Instead of saying, I can't do this, ask yourself, how can I make this possible? That single shift in perspective can unlock a world of possibilities. Mental training is not about wishful thinking or blind optimism. It requires discipline and repetition. Just like an athlete strengthens their body through rigorous training, you must strengthen your mind by feeding it empowering thoughts, exposing it to inspiring ideas, and practicing resilience in the face of adversity. The mind grows through challenges. When you step outside of your comfort zone and embrace uncertainty, you create new neural pathways that expand your capacity to think creatively and act decisively. One of the most powerful tools for training the mind is visualization. When you consistently see yourself achieving a goal, your brain starts to accept it as reality. Neuroscience has shown that the brain does not distinguish between real experiences and vividly imagined ones. This is why elite performers, from athletes to entrepreneurs, use mental imagery to prepare for success. By repeatedly visualizing yourself overcoming challenges, you program your mind to find ways to turn those visions into tangible results. Ultimately, the mind is the architect of your destiny. If you train it to think beyond limitations, you will unlock a level of potential that most people never tap into. Belief is one of the most powerful forces that shape human potential. Every action we take, every goal we pursue, and every challenge we overcome is first filtered through what we believe to be possible. If you believe something is beyond your reach, you will subconsciously create barriers that prevent you from even attempting it. But when you believe that something is possible, your mind begins working toward making it a reality. This is the foundation of success. Your mindset determines your actions, and your actions determine your results. The reason belief is so powerful is that it influences perception. Two people can face the same challenge, but their beliefs about the situation will dictate how they respond. One person may see an obstacle and immediately give up, convinced that it's too difficult. Another person, with a different belief system, may see the same obstacle as an opportunity to grow, to innovate, and to push beyond their limits. The external situation is the same, but their internal belief systems shape two entirely different realities. Beliefs are not just abstract thoughts. They are deeply ingrained mental programs that guide behavior. From childhood, we absorb beliefs from our environment, our families, our culture, our experiences. Some of these beliefs empower us, while others hold us back. A person who grows up constantly hearing that success is only for a certain type of person may internalize that belief and never strive for more. On the other hand, someone who is taught that effort and persistence lead to success will approach life with a mindset of possibility. Changing a belief requires conscious effort. The mind naturally resists change because it prefers familiar patterns, even if those patterns are limiting. This is why many people stay in unfulfilling careers, unhealthy relationships, or self-destructive habits. They have convinced themselves that change is either too hard or impossible. However, once a person realizes that beliefs are not fixed, that they can be rewritten, everything changes. History is filled with examples of individuals who achieved the impossible simply because they refused to accept limiting beliefs. The Wright brothers believed humans could fly when the world laughed at them. Thomas Edison believed he could create electric light even after thousands of failed attempts. These people did not possess extraordinary powers. They simply refused to allow disbelief to dictate their reality. Their belief in what was possible kept them moving forward despite failures and setbacks. When you shift your mindset to one of possibility, new opportunities begin to appear. This is not magic or luck. It is the result of training your brain to see solutions instead of roadblocks. When you believe something is possible, your mind starts searching for ways to make it happen. You become more resourceful, more resilient, and more willing to take the necessary steps. The game of life is won or lost in the mind. If you believe you can, you will find a way. If you believe you can't, you won't even try. That single belief determines everything that follows. Your mind is a collection of thought patterns, habits, and beliefs that shape how you see the world and respond to challenges. Over time, these thought patterns become automatic, guiding your decisions without you even realizing it. If your brain is wired for negative thinking, doubt, fear, or avoidance, it will naturally push you away from opportunities that could lead to growth. Success requires reprogramming these patterns, unlearning the negative thoughts that hold you back, and training your mind to embrace challenges instead of avoiding them. The brain operates on efficiency. It prefers to follow familiar pathways rather than create new ones. This is why people tend to repeat the same behaviors, even when they know those behaviors are not serving them. If someone has spent years thinking, "I'm not good enough, I always fail," or "I can't handle this," their brain has built strong neural connections that reinforce those beliefs. When faced with a challenge, their mind automatically activates those patterns, leading to hesitation, procrastination, or self-sabotage. Rewiring thought patterns begins with awareness. You must become conscious of the thoughts that dominate your mind daily. Most people don't realize how often they engage in negative self-talk because it has become second nature. Start paying attention to your internal dialogue. When you catch yourself thinking in a way that limits your potential, pause and question it. Ask yourself, is this thought based on fact, or is it just a habit? More often than not, you'll realize that these negative thoughts are not grounded in reality, but in fear and past conditioning. Once you identify these patterns, the next step is to replace them with new, empowering thoughts. The brain cannot simply erase an old habit, it must replace it with something new. If your automatic response to a challenge is to think, "I can't do this," train yourself to think, "This is difficult, but I can figure it out." If your habit is to see failure as proof of your inadequacy, reframe it as a learning experience that moves you closer to success. Neuroscience shows that repeated thoughts and behaviors strengthen neural pathways in the brain. The more you practice a new way of thinking, the stronger those pathways become. Over time, positive thought patterns become your default, just as negative ones once were. This is not about blind optimism or ignoring difficulties. It is about conditioning your mind to see challenges as opportunities rather than threats. The key to successful rewiring is consistency. Just as physical training requires repetition to build muscle, mental training requires daily reinforcement. Visualization, affirmations, and mindfulness are powerful tools to help solidify new patterns. Surround yourself with environments, people, and experiences that reinforce the mindset you want to adopt. Your brain is adaptable. It can be trained just like any other part of your body. The process of rewiring takes effort, but once your mind is conditioned for growth, resilience, and problem solving, success becomes a natural outcome rather than an uphill battle. The way you speak to yourself determines the course of your life. Your inner dialogue is the constant stream of thoughts running through your mind, shaping how you perceive yourself and the world around you. Every day, you are either reinforcing confidence or feeding self-doubt, either pushing yourself forward or holding yourself back. The key to success is learning to take control of this inner voice and making it work for you rather than against you. Most people do not realize how much their inner dialogue affects their actions. If you constantly tell yourself that you are not good enough, that you will fail, or that you are incapable, your brain will accept these thoughts as truth. Your subconscious mind absorbs the messages you repeat, whether they are positive or negative. If the dialogue is filled with self-criticism and fear, you will hesitate, avoid challenges, and miss opportunities. However, if your thoughts are filled with encouragement and belief in your abilities, you will take action, persevere, and push through obstacles. Your inner dialogue should be that of a mentor, not a critic. Imagine a great coach working with an athlete. A good coach does not insult or belittle their trainee. Instead, they provide constructive feedback, encouragement, and guidance. They push the athlete to do better while reinforcing their strengths. Now, think about how you speak to yourself when you face a challenge. Are you encouraging yourself, or are you tearing yourself down? If your self-talk is filled with negativity and self-doubt, you are acting as your own worst enemy. But if you shift your inner voice to one of support and motivation, you become your own greatest ally. One of the most effective ways to take control of your inner dialogue is to become aware of the words and phrases you use in your mind. Many people have ingrained habits of saying, "I can't," "I'm not good enough," or "this is too hard." These phrases may seem harmless, but they create a psychological barrier that limits progress. Instead, start replacing these statements with empowering alternatives. Instead of saying, "I can't do this," tell yourself, "I am capable of learning this." Instead of "I always fail," say, "Every failure is a lesson that moves me closer to success." Another powerful strategy is visualization. When you consistently see yourself succeeding in your mind, your brain begins to accept this as reality. This is why top athletes, business leaders, and performers use mental imagery to prepare for success. By visualizing yourself overcoming challenges and achieving goals, you strengthen positive inner dialogue and build confidence. Your thoughts create your reality. If you allow negative self-talk to dominate your mind, it will hold you back from reaching your potential. But when you take control and speak to yourself with encouragement, patience, and belief, you unlock a new level of resilience and success. The choice is yours. Be your own worst critic, or become your greatest mentor. Mental resilience is not something people are born with. It is something that is developed over time through experience, discipline, and mindset training. The ability to endure difficulties, adapt to challenges, and keep moving forward despite setbacks is a skill that can be built like any other. Those who appear unshakable in the face of adversity have not been given a special gift. They have trained their minds to respond differently to pressure, failure, and uncertainty. They understand that every challenge is an opportunity to grow stronger, and they embrace difficulties instead of avoiding them. The key to building resilience is shifting your perspective on challenges. Many people view obstacles as threats, something to be feared, avoided, or complained about. But resilient individuals see them as training grounds. They know that every difficulty they face strengthens their ability to handle future struggles. Just as muscles grow stronger through resistance, the mind becomes more resilient through adversity. The more you expose yourself to challenges and push through discomfort, the more your brain learns that you can handle stress, uncertainty, and setbacks. Fear plays a significant role in mental resilience. Fear of failure, fear of rejection, fear of the unknown. These emotions can paralyze people and prevent them from taking action. However, fear loses its power when you train your mind to face it head on. When you push through fear repeatedly, your brain starts to recognize that fear is not a stop sign, but a signal for growth. The more you do things that scare you, the less fear controls your decisions. Over time, your comfort zone expands and situations that once seemed intimidating become routine. One of the most important habits for building resilience is learning how to manage your thoughts during difficult times. When people face setbacks, their natural instinct is often to dwell on negative thoughts. Why is this happening to me? I'm not strong enough to handle this, or what if I fail again? These thoughts weaken mental resilience because they create a cycle of doubt and helplessness. Instead, resilient individuals train their minds to reframe situations. Instead of saying, "This is too hard," they say, "This is an opportunity to become stronger." Instead of focusing on failure, they focus on what can be learned and applied moving forward. Resilience is also built through habits. Small, consistent actions shape the way the mind responds to stress. Meditation, journaling, physical exercise, and controlled exposure to discomfort, such as cold showers, difficult workouts, or tackling fears, help train the mind to handle pressure. Just as an athlete does not wait until game day to start training, mentally strong people do not wait for a crisis to start working on their resilience. They condition themselves daily by embracing discomfort and staying committed to personal growth. By repeatedly training the mind to endure hardships, challenges become less intimidating. Problems that once felt overwhelming become manageable. Fear loses its grip and confidence grows. The ability to remain calm, focused, and determined in the face of obstacles is not something granted to a lucky few. It is built by those who choose to strengthen their mindset every single day. Motivation is often seen as the driving force behind success. But the truth is, motivation is unreliable. It comes and goes based on emotions, circumstances, and external factors. If you rely solely on motivation to achieve your goals, you will find yourself stuck in cycles of excitement followed by inaction. Discipline, on the other hand, is the real foundation of success. It is what keeps you moving forward even when you don't feel like it. When you train your mind to act regardless of how you feel, you gain control over your progress rather than waiting for the perfect moment to take action. The problem with motivation is that it is tied to emotions. There are days when you wake up feeling inspired and ready to take on the world, but there are also days when you feel exhausted, unmotivated, and unwilling to put in the work. If you only take action on the days you feel inspired, you will never build consistency. Success is not created by occasional bursts of effort. It is built through repeated, disciplined action, even when it is difficult or inconvenient. Discipline means showing up regardless of your mood. It is the ability to do what needs to be done, whether you feel like it or not. Athletes train even when they are tired. Writers write even when they don't feel creative. Entrepreneurs make decisions even when they are uncertain. The difference between those who succeed and those who don't is not motivation, it is the ability to keep going despite how they feel. Training discipline starts with small, consistent actions. If you tell yourself you will exercise 3 times a week, do it no matter what. If you commit to reading for 30 minutes a day, make it non-negotiable. The more you follow through on commitments to yourself, the stronger your discipline becomes. Over time, acting without relying on motivation becomes second nature. It is not about being perfect. It is about training your mind to take action without overthinking or making excuses. One of the biggest reasons people struggle with discipline is that they let their feelings dictate their actions. They wait to feel ready before starting a project. They wait for inspiration before working on their goals. This mindset keeps people stuck because the truth is you will never always feel ready. The most successful people do not wait for the perfect moment. They create it by acting despite discomfort. Another key to developing discipline is removing the need for motivation altogether. Structure your life in a way that makes it easier to stay disciplined. Create routines, set reminders, and minimize distractions. If you want to work out in the morning, lay out your clothes the night before. If you want to write every day, schedule a fixed time for it. The less you rely on willpower, the easier it becomes to stay consistent. Ultimately, discipline is what separates those who achieve their goals from those who don't. It is the bridge between where you are now and where you want to be. Train your mind to act no matter how you feel, and success will follow. Your environment plays a crucial role in shaping your mindset, influencing your thoughts, actions, and ultimately your success. The people you surround yourself with, the conversations you engage in, the information you consume, and the spaces you spend your time in all contribute to how you see the world and what you believe is possible. If you want to grow, achieve more, and push beyond your comfort zone, you need to create an environment that challenges you, inspires you, and supports your personal development. The people in your life have a direct impact on your mindset. If you spend most of your time around individuals who complain, make excuses, and settle for mediocrity, their mindset will slowly influence yours. Even if you are naturally ambitious, constant exposure to negativity and limiting beliefs can plant doubts in your mind and weaken your drive. On the other hand, when you surround yourself with people who are driven, optimistic, and constantly improving, their energy fuels your own progress. Conversations shift from complaining about problems to finding solutions. Instead of being pulled down by doubt, you are lifted by belief and possibility. Growth does not happen in isolation. Humans are naturally influenced by their surroundings, which is why the right environment can accelerate your success. If you are in a space where excellence is the standard, you will naturally push yourself to meet that standard. Think about top-performing athletes, business leaders, or artists. They thrive in environments where they are challenged, where they see others excelling, and where they are constantly exposed to ideas that push them forward. Being in an environment that demands more from you forces you to level up. Your mental environment is just as important as your physical one. The content you consume, books, podcasts, social media, news, shapes your thoughts and beliefs. If you constantly feed your mind with negativity, distractions, and superficial content, your mindset will reflect that. But if you intentionally expose yourself to ideas that challenge you, stories of resilience and success, and knowledge that expands your thinking, your mind becomes sharper, more resilient, and more focused on growth. Comfort zones are dangerous because they keep you stagnant. If you are always surrounded by people who think like you, act like you, and live at the same level as you, there is little pressure to grow. Growth happens when you are in an environment that forces you to stretch beyond what feels easy. This could mean working with people who are more skilled than you, engaging in conversations that challenge your perspective, or placing yourself in situations where you must learn, adapt, and improve. Changing your environment is one of the most effective ways to shift your mindset. Seek out mentors, join communities that inspire growth, and intentionally place yourself in situations that push you beyond your limits. Growth does not happen by accident. It happens in the right environment. The more you expose yourself to high standards, ambitious thinking, and new challenges, the more your mindset will expand and the more you will achieve. Fear is often misunderstood. Most people see it as a warning sign to stop, to retreat, or to avoid discomfort. But in reality, fear is a signal of growth. It means you are stepping beyond your comfort zone, pushing into unfamiliar territory, and challenging yourself to become more than you were before. If you are never afraid, it means you are not stretching yourself. Growth and fear go hand in hand, and the key to achieving your full potential is learning to embrace fear instead of running from it. The reason fear exists is to protect you. Your brain is wired for survival, not success. It wants to keep you safe, to avoid risks, and to stick to what is familiar. This is why whenever you try to do something new, whether it is starting a business, speaking in public, making a big decision, or pursuing a dream, you feel fear. Your brain perceives uncertainty as danger, even when the real risk is minimal. But this fear is not a sign to stop. It is a sign that you are growing. It means you are stepping into new territory, stretching your abilities, and challenging yourself to reach new heights. Think about the moments in life when you achieved something meaningful. Chances are fear was present. Before giving an important presentation, before making a life-changing decision, before taking a bold step toward your goals, fear was there. But you moved forward anyway, and in doing so, you grew. The most successful people in any field are not fearless. They simply have trained themselves to act despite fear. They understand that fear is part of the process and that avoiding it only leads to stagnation. Training your mind to embrace fear starts with changing your perspective. Instead of seeing fear as a reason to stop, start seeing it as confirmation that you are on the right path. If something scares you, it means it has the potential to change you. It means you are expanding your capabilities, gaining new experiences, and moving closer to your goals. Fear should not be avoided. It should be welcomed as a companion on your journey to success. One of the best ways to build this mindset is through repeated exposure. The more you face fear and push through it, the less power it has over you. When you consistently step into discomfort, your brain learns that fear is not a signal to stop, but a challenge to overcome. Over time, what once terrified you becomes normal. What once felt impossible becomes second nature. This is how confidence is built, not by avoiding fear, but by confronting it again and again. Fear is not the enemy. The real enemy is inaction. The real danger is allowing fear to control you, to hold you back from opportunities, and to keep you in a life of comfort and mediocrity. Every time you feel fear, recognize it for what it is: a sign that you are growing, evolving, and becoming more than you were before. Train your mind to lean into fear, and you will unlock levels of success and fulfillment you never thought possible. Focus is one of the most valuable skills you can develop. In a world filled with distractions, the ability to direct your attention toward a single goal and stay committed to it is what separates those who succeed from those who don't. Every great achievement in history was made possible by individuals who mastered the art of focus. They eliminated distractions, resisted short-term temptations, and remained locked in on their vision no matter what challenges arose. If you want to reach your highest potential, you must train your mind to maintain focus and stay disciplined in your pursuits. The biggest enemy of focus is distraction. Today, distractions come from everywhere: social media, notifications, emails, entertainment, and the constant demand for attention. These distractions pull people away from meaningful work, breaking their concentration and weakening their ability to think deeply. Every time you allow yourself to be distracted, you lose momentum. It takes time to regain the level of focus you had before, and over time, this habit of switching between tasks leads to decreased productivity and mental exhaustion. The key to mastering focus is to intentionally remove distractions and create an environment that supports deep work. Your ability to focus starts with clarity. If you do not have a clear vision of what you want to achieve, your mind will naturally wander. Successful people know exactly what they are working toward, and they structure their lives around that vision. This means setting clear goals, breaking them down into actionable steps, and committing to consistent progress. When you know exactly what you need to do, it becomes easier to filter out distractions and stay committed to what truly matters. One of the most effective ways to train your focus is through discipline. Focus is not something you either have or don't have. It is a skill that must be developed through repetition and practice. Start by setting specific time blocks for deep work, during which you eliminate all distractions and commit fully to a single task. Turn off notifications, put your phone away, and create a workspace that signals to your brain that it is time to concentrate. The more you practice focusing, the stronger your ability to stay locked in on a task will become. Another important factor in mastering focus is learning to say no. Many people struggle to focus because they spread themselves too thin, saying yes to every opportunity, task, or request that comes their way. While it is important to be open to opportunities, true success comes from knowing what to prioritize and what to ignore. Every commitment you make takes time and energy, so choose wisely. If something does not align with your goals, have the discipline to say no and protect your focus. Mental resilience also plays a key role in maintaining focus. Challenges, setbacks, and distractions will always arise. But those who succeed are the ones who remain focused despite obstacles. They do not allow temporary difficulties to derail their progress. Instead, they adapt, adjust, and continue moving forward with unwavering determination. When you develop the ability to stay locked in on your vision, no matter what happens around you, you gain a competitive edge that sets you apart from the rest. The mind is the foundation of everything you achieve in life. When you train it to think beyond limitations, embrace fear, and remain disciplined, you unlock the ability to achieve what once seemed impossible. Success is not about luck or talent. It is about conditioning your thoughts, habits, and actions to align with your vision. Mental resilience is built through challenges, and true growth happens when you step beyond your comfort zone. The ability to focus, eliminate distractions, and stay committed to your goals separates those who reach their highest potential from those who settle for less. Every great achievement starts in the mind, and the power to shape your future is entirely in your hands. Train your mind, embrace the process, and there will be no limits to what you can accomplish.